Hi, everybody. It looks like we are live. Ginger and I are here today to announce an exciting announcement, I guess. Ginger will be our first new adventure leader for Rocky Mountain Women Outdoors. We have another couple ladies that I'm super excited to introduce to you starting next week. And Ginger will be taking over the Beartooth chapter. So she'll be running trips that she personally plans, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, in the Red Lodge, Absaroka, Beartooth Mountain region. So I just wanted to give you all a little bit of a summary of how Ginger and I met and my interactions with her and why I think she is going to make an awesome leader. Basically this summer, Rocky Mountain Women Outdoors had several rafting trips with Absaroka Whitewater Adventures, and Ginger is one of their female rafting guides. And I remember the very first trip that some of us ladies went on with Absaroka Whitewater Adventures. I personally had Ginger as my raft guide, and I remember going down the river and hitting kind of a big rapid, and Ginger all of a sudden started yelling, "Go, go, 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 go." And to a lot of people, a lot of women especially, that might have been very intimidating, but I thought it was freaking awesome, and I was super inspired by it. So Ginger is a badass. She is super sweet, super nice, great leader. She has experience in the guiding community, and I'm just very honored and excited to announce her as part of our team. So, Ginger, why don't you start off by kind of sharing your life story, for lack of better terms, kind of tell us about your childhood and upbringing and kind of how you landed yourself as a raft guide.
Yeah, it's a good story, I guess. I grew up in Pinedale, Wyoming, and I was always outside doing something, whether it was messing with the cows because we did 4-H or with the horses, just running around playing games outside. We were in the forest and on the flatlands, so definitely grew up outside. And then got a little bit older and people started asking me, well, what do you want to do for college? Well, I have no idea, and it took me forever to decide, and decided, well, I really like the outside, so maybe I should find something in that field. And ended up in Powell, Wyoming, going to school for outdoor education and recreational leadership. And that was definitely a good decision. I learned a lot and didn't have too much homework, which was fantastic. A lot of the schoolwork was hands-on, so that was always really good. And then I met a bunch of people and went a bunch of different places, and ended up, I made it to Red Lodge, and I've been hanging out here. And my boyfriend, Eric, works at the raft shop. So I was kind of hanging out there on my days off from being a firefighter, a wildland firefighter. And pretty soon they decided, well, quit taking up space on your boat, guide a boat.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
kind of started like that, and it's been going good because I'm still there.
Yeah, that's great. And you've been there, was this your third season?
Yeah. Yep. Third
Awesome.
full season.
Very cool. So I have a few questions for you, and the first question has to do with being a raft guide. Was it kind of a tough transition for you to kind of learn the ropes, or were you able to kind of jump right in and kind of pick it up?
In some respects, it was kind of hard, just because you have to learn how to maneuver the boat and read the water. And I hadn't been doing that very long when I started, so I was always kind of awkward, I guess, for lack of a better term. I would be talking to clients in my boat, and all of a sudden I'd stop and be staring at the water, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm just trying to figure out how to get around this rock.
Yeah, trying to multitask.
Yeah, so finding that balance was kind of hard. But in the past, I've had other guiding jobs. In high school, I guided for Bleacher Creek Outfitters for several years. And so guiding itself and talking to people, um, having conversations with random people off the street, I guess, came pretty easily just because I had done it quite a bit before.
Awesome. And what would you say it's like being a rafting guide, which is honestly a male predominant industry? Have you had any like challenges with that, or has it been just a positive experience?
In the raft shop itself, it's been super great. All my coworkers are really nice and supportive. Um, on the boats themselves, every so often you'll get a group of people that are, especially older gentlemen, middle-aged, I guess, that are like, "Why are you guiding this boat? Like, I should know more than you. I'm stronger, blah, blah, blah." They get all macho and don't want to listen or paddle or so that's kind of interesting, and it kind of grows your ability to guide, just because you have to deal with these situations and get the people down the river in the same safe manner that you normally do, and you still want to show them a good time without really losing anyone along the way. And sometimes you might be tempted to, but it's definitely a skill to learn.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. From my own personal experience, I know what it can be like to try to not even really convince, but just like prove them wrong that like you are capable and that you are, you know, you're capable of doing doing what your job is and providing them with a safe and fun experience. I know I definitely had similar experiences, like you mentioned, when I was guiding fishing trips in Alaska. So very cool. So you did do wilderness first responder. So I know there's a lot of ladies out here who are kind of interested in what all that course entails. So would you mind kind of sharing your experience and some of the things that you learned, your biggest takeaways from that wilderness first responder course?
Yeah, when I first took it 2.5 years ago now, it was a condensed course. So it was all day for several days. And it was pretty intensive. And we had a lot of field work. And it was a lot of studying beforehand, making sure you knew the material. And then once I got to the class, it was just, all right, now let's go do it. And we set up a bunch of scenarios, and every so often we'd go through something as a class and kind of learn things that the book didn't really explain well enough for us. And so that was really cool. Our instructors were really nice about explaining things and taking time to make us understand what was happening and why and how to fix it. And so that was always really good. The most I took away from that, or the things I remember most, I guess, would probably be the time in the field, of course. But the triage was always like, wow, if this really happened, could I actually do that? Like, give up one patient to go help another person? And that was always a really hard concept. But the more I think about it, the more I feel like I'd just be, okay, go logical, like what needs to happen first and second and third. And I think I'd have to do it like that, or else I wouldn't be able to function.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I could see how maybe like in those situations, luckily I've never personally had to deal with anything like that. But I feel like your adrenaline would kick in and you would maybe just know what to do. And that's why it's so important to have training like that, so that when you do get in those situations, you know, you have the training to know how to react. And that's why, you know, having that training, whether it's the wilderness first responder or wilderness first aid and CPR, is so important, because, you know, we got to take care of our guests, and we got to make sure everybody can be taken care of if something does go wrong. So love that. Love it.
It's always good to have for yourself too, if you're out with your family or something. So
Definitely. And I totally recommend every single person should get first aid and CPR, whether you go outside or not, because you never know when somebody in your family is going to injure themselves, or starts having a heart attack or a stroke, or starts choking. Having those skills to help them through those moments where it's kind of an emergency is a very useful skill for any and every person. So, and it's only $100 to get your your first aid and CPR. So there's really no excuse. They offer multiple classes per month through the Red Cross and through your local hospitals. So just Google it up. Highly recommend getting first aid and CPR, every single person. There's no excuse. All right, perfect. My next question for you is what is your #1 bucket list adventure?
That's a hard one. I've got a lot of adventures I'd like to do. But top of the list is probably traveling to Ireland or somewhere over there where you can see the cliffs right against the ocean and go on these amazing hikes and see the gorgeous skylines. And I think hiking over there, rock climbing over there, basically anything outdoors over there would be really cool.
Yes. No, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but there's this challenge called the Great Outdoors Challenge, and it's not an actual like competition, but you can sign up and you plan your course and everything, but it takes you plan your course from one side of Scotland to the other side of Scotland, and there's YouTube videos about it, but it's super cool, super gorgeous, and it's really cool because people from all over the world come together and do this backpacking trip, and I think it's like 260 miles or something like that, and you just do it over the course of a couple weeks. And that's kind of like something that's been on my my bucket list, and I hope to do it in the next few years. I was trying to do it this coming May, but other things got in the way, so you actually have to have your applications in by September, and it just didn't happen. So hopefully next year. Would love to do that with you if that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm totally all about the traveling and seeing the world and seeing things that you don't necessarily see here in the States. So very cool. Perfect. Okay, so we tentatively talked about you having your first official adventure on November 10th and 11th. So I know that you don't have it completely planned yet, but maybe you could share some of your ideas for that adventure with the crew.
Yeah. My initial idea was to find a location, obviously, whether it's the Pollard or Rock Creek or a cabin up East Rosebud or just a vacation rental here in Red Lodge, and do a Dutch oven dinner the night before and have all the ladies that come be involved with that, and then do like an arts and crafts or just hang out by the fire that night. And then in the morning do some yoga. There's a gal here in Red Lodge I need to talk to about that. She's really good. And then depending on if there's snow on the ground or not, which we may or may not know ahead of time, a snowshoe or hike. So,
well, that sounds awesome. Like I'm gonna try to make it. I can't make any promises, but I will be cheering you on and hopefully watching the Instagram and Snapchat stories for that adventure. Sounds like it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And I had a question for you. Oh, in the case that we do need snowshoe rentals, the base camp in Billings rents them. Does Sylvan Peak rent snowshoes? They do.
Yep.
Okay. So Sylvan Peak, which is Ginger's boyfriend's family's business, is that right? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So Ginger's boyfriend's family's business owns Sylvan Peak in Red Lodge, actually, and apparently they rent snowshoes as well. So if you don't have some, don't worry. We can figure out how to get you a pair. Perfect. And my very last question to end this little interview. Ginger, what was your experience with Rocky Mountain Women Outdoors? How did the adventures that you were able to be a part of this summer make you feel, and what was your favorite part of the community?
Those adventures were always really fun, very friendly and supportive. I definitely noticed that there wasn't any competition really going on between the people in the boat compared to other boats where I've got guys or even families. The kids tend to try to outdo each other and stuff. And so it was really cool to go down with a group that was all female and just supporting each other and loving what they're doing and willing to step outside their comfort zone and take this adventure or this step that they've never done before with this group of ladies that they just met. Or maybe not, I don't know. But that was really cool to see that and see how people interacted and feel like I am very welcome right away.
Yes, yes. Well, we loved you, and it was always fun coming back and requesting you to be one of our guides. So, and it sounds like there might be a couple other female guides at the raft shop next summer, potentially.
Yeah. We've got a gal, Anna Dye, and Morgan. We call her Captain Morgan. I guess I don't know her last name. But they're both seniors in high school this year. So hopefully they both come back again. They were starting to do really good at the end of last summer. And obviously they'll need some training on the upper sections of the Stillwater just because that's a lot bigger water. And as we go down that, they'll see it and remember the river and read the water on the river and be able to navigate it themselves. But they were really starting to get good, and I really hope they come back.
That would be awesome. How cool would it be to have three guides for the ladies' trips that were all women? That would be pretty cool. Well, cool.
Yeah.
So let me look through these comments here. And if anybody has any questions for Ginger or myself, please drop them in the comments below, and we will get those answered, and then we'll hop off. So it looks like Taylor Murray hopped on, and she said, "Good morning, exciting. Welcome, Ginger." Lynn Ratcliffe, which is my mom, she says, "Hi, Ginger. We loved your adventures. Which adventures will Ginger lead? Super excited." Oh, and then she says she likes your idea about the first trip on November 10th and 11th. Sue Harnish, I'm gonna butcher this name. Sue Schreiber, let's just go with that. She says Ginger has loved the outdoors ever since she was able to walk. So awesome. That's your mom?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very cool. Glad she was able to hop on and see this. Does anybody else have any reactions or comments or anything like that? Oh, my mom asked if you are going to plan on doing any skiing trips. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, actually, I was going to plan some skiing trips. I had a couple different options that I was thinking about. One would be that we could go do like an alpine skiing in the morning and then break for lunch and either pack a lunch or go have lunch somewhere or something. And then in the afternoon, go do a Nordic skiing and then have a wax clinic of some sort. The other option I was thinking of is we could just go adventure on classic Nordic skis, whether it's classic or skate. There's some really pretty places down here. But do that in the morning and then do a wax clinic and yoga or dinner or something in the afternoon.
That sounds awesome. And the next question is would you be able to teach people how to do that?
Yeah, definitely. The past couple of winters, not summers, I was down in Laramie, Wyoming, coaching the Nordic junior high team. So we got about 96 kids, and they had abilities from never ever been on skis before. What are these boards strapped to my feet? To, yeah, I've been on these since I could walk. What are you talking about? So.
Oh, I love that. Well, you guys, Ginger is a Swift Army knife. She knows how to do everything. All right, perfect. Mandy Snell says, thank you for being a great example of someone who is doing what they love. Mandy, I'm not sure if you're talking to me or Ginger, but we're both doing what we love, so thank you so much for that comment. And then your mom says, our whole class is watching you young ladies. Thanks for watching, everybody. Does anybody else have any comments or questions? Did you have something to say, Ginger?
I was just going to say my mom is a school teacher. She works with the special needs kids in Pinedale. So that's, I'm guessing, the high schoolers that are watching.
That's so awesome. She says she wants to join in on a trip sometime.
That'd be cool.
Oh, I love having my mom on the trips. It's so fun. She's I'm kind of more of like the more reserved type. I do like to have fun and I do like to joke around, but my mom is definitely the big personality. So it's always fun to have her along for the trip. So we love mother-daughter combos. We've had quite a few of them, and it's always a great time. She said, yes, it is the class.
Nice. My screen just went black.
I can still see you. I don't know.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to plug in my computer just in case.
Well, cool. If nobody else has any comments or questions, we're going to hop off this video and let you and Ginger get on with the day. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop any feedback or questions that you might have after we hop off here in the comments, and we will be sure to answer them. So like I said, next Wednesday we'll be announcing the next new adventure leader, and she is from Missoula. So very excited to announce who that is, and I think you're going to love her just as much as you all love Junior. So we will talk to you soon, and until then, have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.